One of the biggest questions from my blog posts and videos about the UK visa process is, what is it like to work in London as an American? Unfortunately, Sunny friends, I do not have good news for you about the experience, but I do have some advice that you don't want to miss. The most important tip I have for you is to drop it low. Unless you're coming to London on a work visa, do not have high expectations of the position you'll be able to get when you first move here. You'll probably find that you need to downgrade your employment 1 or 2 steps below what you did in the US. I guess it might be comforting to know that it's not completely discrimination, because I've talked to friends who have moved here from South Africa and they experience the same thing. Unless you are coming to work in the UK in like law, accounting, or finance, you're pretty much going to be at a lower level than you were in the US. I absolutely advise, if you are looking for a position in media, PR, or the education sector, that you just start off one position lower when you're doing your job search. My blog, Sunny in London, which features a lot of information about the expat experience in London, is no joke. I really feel like the weather here in London is pretty good. So when people refer to London fog, I'm actually going to use that as my next piece of advice for Americans who want to work in London, and that is see through the London fog. This is a little sarcasm and me attempting to be a little bit funny, but by London fog, I mean you're going to have to do a lot to translate what British people are actually saying. British people, especially in the workplace, don't always say exactly what they mean, and many times they're not going to really tell you what they think. I literally have had somebody British in the workplace tell me that they hold back on conveying their true thoughts to people, which might be the reason why when I first moved here, I had such bad advice about how quickly I'd be able to get a job, and it took me a very long time. Tip number 3 is get used to power players. In the British workplace, you refer to your supervisor as a line manager, and British people are obsessed with being line managers. In my experience, it's all about who you're the boss of and not so much what your actual job is. If you ask me, I would say perhaps it relates back to English history. Next, you'll find a real difference in attendance and holidays. I feel like people here have better attendance, and there's much more leniency for taking time off for things like your family. You certainly get more holiday or vacation time in comparison to what you'll find in the US. Generally, you'll get about 29 to 30 days off outside of bank holidays, which, by the way, you want to note are different from American holidays. My perception is people are more on time for work here and attend more regularly, barring things like transportation issues, which are like delayed trains or tube strikes. Something else you'll need to know that I find is very different in London than my experiences working in the US is the times you get paid. You will find in almost any position that you are paid once a month, and that is the last Friday of the month. Tip number 6 is the way they approach recruitment agencies, and they are far more prevalent in London than you'll ever find in the US, especially in the education sector. Pin, like, or share this video if you found it valuable. I would love to hear your perceptions of what it's like working in London if you're living here as an American expat like me. Please leave any questions that you may have about living in London or even visiting London as an American. You can find me all over social media too if you'd like to get in touch that way. Thank you for watching.